Howdy. I sincerely hope that whoever, wherever, and whenever you may be, that you're doing well. And as you can see, I'm in a tent, and it's dark. I just wanted to do a quick tarot pull for y'all, just while I'm out here camping. Just randomly felt like getting a message for you, so let's see what happens. They want me to pull from this alien deck here again, so let's see what you get. I trust that this video has found you at the right time, and if you're seeing this, well, likely there's a message here for you, but just be sure to take what resonates and leave what does not, because this is a collective reading. Okay, Spirit, and specifically any ETs. Is there anything you would like the collective to know? Oh. Okay. We got the UFO with faith here. So what I'm getting is the most important thing right now for you to focus on, for the collective to focus on, is really just upping your belief, because really everything is constructed by our beliefs. Our reality is, if we had no beliefs, we literally wouldn't be having any type of experience whatsoever. So whatever it is that you believe in, that's really what will work for you. That's why magic works for some people, but it doesn't for others. That's why certain practices work for some people, but for others it doesn't, is because it's all completely dependent on the belief or the faith that you have in that thing, and that is what will determine it working. There's nothing intrinsic about anything, about any objects or practices or anything. What gives it the power is our own faith and our own belief in it. So I feel like that's definitely an important card. Tell me more, please. Oh, didn't even finish asking and another card popped out. We got the Tree of Life, Connection and Support. So what I'm getting is your guides want you to ask them for help in building your faith effectively. Still ask for any other, whatever you want, ask for any support. But I'm getting that one of the most important things that you could be asking your team or your guides or whatever you pray to, whatever it is, ask them to help you up your faith. Because really, it works as a positive feedback loop. The more that you can up your belief with their help, the more that you'll literally be able to believe in the fact that they're helping you. And this will just kind of be a back and forth thing, and it'll grow exponentially. And I'm also getting that this is mostly in regards to your spirit team, but connecting with like-minded people is definitely a big help right now for the collective. But I understand it. Sometimes it can feel hard to find other people who are like-minded, because it's, I don't know, just the things that we learn and that we recognize on the spiritual path, they're very not mainstream, to say the least, but just know that there are many people out there for you. Tell me more, please. Got a couple cards here. Okay. So we got the Moon, Light in the Dark, and we got the Crop Circle with Open-Mindedness. So what I'm getting potentially right now with the Moon here is that there's a lot of illusions happening right now for the collective. Maybe there's fear-based beliefs or illusions that you're going through, or maybe just old situations or old habits keep seemingly coming back, and they keep seeming like they're testing you. I'm getting that just staying strong through those things and keeping an open mind, just remembering specifically that you are supported and that you are on the path and that you will be all right. Just keeping an open mind to that, and also keeping an open mind to this connection and support, even when the illusion feels strong. This will pull you through, And I've definitely been there myself, where I've had, just was struggling particularly with certain energies and certain doubt that I had to work through in my shadow, and really just remaining open to it, just not giving up, not giving up on what you believe in, and keeping that open mind that is what will pull you through, because sometimes when we're going through those things, you just need to wait it out sometimes and to make it through the storm. And once you pass through, then, the illusions will start to fade. Your faith will get an upgrade after these experiences, because I don't like to use the word test, but I mean, it proves that you will hold on to your faith regardless of your external circumstances, and that will level you up effectively. But is there anything else for this deck? Feeling maybe we get one more pull from this deck, and then I'm feeling called to another one. Oh. So we got this one last time, the Lovers with Unconditional Love. I'm getting, again, that a lot of this has to do with showing unconditional love to yourself, especially in these moments where the illusion is strong, in these moments where it may seem like we can't make it through, or like you might even feel sometimes that you've been left behind by your guides or left in the dark in some way. I'm getting that keeping this open mind and making it through the dark times or the times of high illusion, it requires a lot of self-love, because a lot of this doubt that we have in ourselves at times, it comes from feeling like we aren't worthy, or feeling like we're not deserving of love, or deserving of, the things that we've been wanting to manifest, or the things that we feel we're called to, or that are, destined in our life, but that sometimes we may be doubtful of still. You gotta maintain that unconditional love for yourself, and remember that you are deserving. Just, the fact that you exist literally means that you deserve unconditional love, because, we all have the divine in us. And one thing that really helps with this is remembering that you have this connection and support, and it can be tough sometimes, because sometimes we may feel like we lose access to that support temporarily, but just remembering that even when if it seems like we can't feel that they're there, or that we're not getting any guidance, remember that they still love you immensely, and in some way or another they are helping you, even if it's not apparent at first. But they want you to love yourself enough to remain open during these dark times, because if you love yourself enough, you will never give up, quite literally, never. But I think that's all the cards I'm getting from this deck. I'm feeling called to pull from this one here. It's like here, let me show you. It's like a shamanic deck. I love the art in this one. It's really cool. Are there any particularly messages from Source, but also messages from ancestors that would like to come through in this deck? Come through, please. Okay, we had 3 cards, 4 cards actually. We'll work with that. So first we have Purification here. So what I'm getting from this card is, whenever you go through these potentially dark times, or these times where you feel disconnected or a little bit lost, it may seem like, I was just talking about this with someone, it may seem like backwards progress, but really you are still taking steps forward, in that you're purifying and recognizing your shadow. You're cleaning out the old habits and old belief systems and the old fears, and in order for those things to be cleared out, they need to come to the surface, otherwise they'll just kind of get stuck down there. So I'm getting that this is a purification process that you've been going through, and I know it's tough sometimes, but what came out next is Inner Strength, and I'm getting from this card, they want you to recognize in general, just all of the things that you've been through and that you've stuck through and made it through, but in particular, each time you have one of these experiences where you feel like you're in the dark and it feels really rough, every single time that you make it through one of those experiences, your inner strength goes up immensely. Your confidence in yourself goes up immensely. Again, your belief goes up, but you recognize how strong you really are, and you recognize the true power within each time these things happen. And I notice that sometimes, in the times where I've experienced particularly dark moments in these purification times, it's almost like you get an amnesia at first of how strong you really are. You kind of forget a lot of the signs and synchronicities you may have seen, or you may just forget everything, not everything, but a lot of what you've been through that causes you to believe. And this, again, is all part of the process of growing this and of the purification. And what comes out next is transformation here. This really is you going through this process, even though it seems rough sometimes. And I'm getting for some of you that a lot of you, that you're effectively at the tail end of this process, that we're really stepping into the fruits of our labor is what I just got. And this transformation is part of that fruit. It is you getting to be a completely different embodied self with completely different, just the way you feel is different, and the way you handle things is different, the way you view life is different. Just everything about you is transformed in a positive way, but in a way that also you're just so much stronger each time you go through these experiences. And each time you transform, you're brought closer and closer to ecstasy, which ecstasy or bliss, it's all our true state. And like this card says, I savor the gift of being alive. I'm really feeling like once you fully go through this transformation process, and maybe you have completed it, once you go through this fully, you are going to be so thankful just to be breathing the air, just to be here at all, and it's truly a beautiful thing. But let's see if we get anything else from this deck. Okay, we got 2 more cards here. Okay, so we got introspection. I look within to understand what's around me. So I'm getting that this is really, you're doing the inner work here, which, that's definitely incredibly respectable, because a lot of people, they don't recognize that they have to go inwards in order to change things externally or to change things at all. But you're really doing the inner work here. And what this is leading you to is, this is cosmic whispers. If you haven't already, you're getting closer and closer to receiving just more and more direct guidance from your higher self, from your spirit team. I'm getting your ancestors as well, but the strongest one that came through was just direct guidance from your higher self. And as you move closer and closer to ecstasy, as you follow your bliss, you follow your excitement, that's you stepping in alignment with your higher self, because your excitement, your bliss, or whatever you can think of doing that would be the most exciting thing for you to do right now, that is literally the direct signal from your higher self telling you where to go and what to do to reach your highest timeline, if that makes sense. I think that's going to be it for this deck. I'm going to pull from one more deck here, and then I think I'll call it. Okay, come through, please, Spirit. Oh, that one flew out. It came out in the reverse. So we have deceit in the reverse here. What I'm getting from this card is you may feel at times like you're being misled by your own intuition. Sometimes it can be hard to trust that inner guidance because, sometimes following our excitement, it can seem impractical when we're used to, our logical ego minds and just any conditioning that we may have from the past that cause us to stay in these fear-based beliefs. I'm getting that the only thing that's happening when you give in to these beliefs is actually deceiving yourself, and that your guides would never deceive you. Them and your higher self are only leading you towards your highest good, really. And, don't feel guilty or shameful whatsoever in regards to not fully trusting, because I feel like for everyone it starts that way, and it's all just part of the process and the journey. Like, I mean, it's another part of this purification here, is learning how to trust. And I mean, I'm getting that even though there's definitely still some hard times, I'm getting that you guys are really doing the work, and you're starting to trust more and more in your own intuition, and recognizing that that is the guidance from your higher self and from your guides. And you're deceiving yourself less and less, I guess, is the last thing that I got from that card. But tell me more, please. Oh. Okay. So here we got support. And it specifically says guardian angel. I get the feeling that you have, I mean, it is your spirit team, or your angels, or however you want to look at it. You really do have a lot more support than you probably realize, and it's constant, you know. Your team is always trying to help you as much as they possibly can, and really, you can tap into this help as much as you want. Like, I'm getting that some of you may feel guilty about, or like you're going to annoy them if you keep asking for things and you keep asking for help or asking for emotional support or whatever it may be. And they want you to know that it does not matter in the slightest how many times you ask. Like, for one, they can't really be frustrated with you, but the closest thing they can get, or that, you know, could cause them something close to that, would be you thinking that you're going to annoy them by not asking them. Because, like, they want to help you. I mean, that's literally their passion, you know, like, that's what they're here to do, is to be guides and to help. And so they really want you to tap into this support, and just to remember that you are supported all of the time. And when you reach moments where you're going through that purification process, it's key to call upon your guides, and just to, even if it means just asking for help to make it through the moment, that can be really key. But I'm going to get a little bit more here. Tell me more, please, Spirit. Oh. So what came out is solitude, your higher self. What I'm getting for this is you really had to, I mean, in order for you to truly step into this purification work, you may have had to step away from some people, or from a situation, maybe a job even, or just some kind of circumstance that made you feel either bound to others or bound to a version of yourself or old thought patterns that you're trying to move away from. And I'm getting that this purification process, it's all from your higher self, effectively trying to help you move where you want to go. And they really want you to just trust that they're guiding you, that they're helping you, because they are. And the more that you can trust them and let go of the fear, the more progress you will see. But also, please just don't feel guilty or shameful if you're not making as much progress as you want, or if you're not doing specific things that you think you should be doing, because really all that does is just make you feel worse, and that, I mean, that doesn't really help anything, you know. So I think I'm going to try to get one more, and then I'll call it there. Oh. Alright, so the card that came out is goals. Now, I'm getting that you have plans, or your higher self has plans for you that you might have some inclinations on, but I'm getting that you don't really even know about the full extent of this. You don't know how much you're going to do and how good it can truly get. You may still be thinking small, or like you just, oh, I'll settle for this just as long as it means that I can feel comfortable. But they're trying to help you achieve things that are beyond what you initially thought. And they're not going to have you do something that's not in alignment with you, or that, the only thing that they'll have you do that might make you uncomfortable is just the steps needed to make the growth that will lead towards you accomplishing these goals. And I'm getting that, you probably already have some goals in mind that you will accomplish, but there's really so much more. There's so much more potential and things that your higher self is leading you to. And that's why sometimes it can be confusing when you listen to this guidance or take these steps, and it doesn't always make the most sense. It's because they're leading you to things that you don't even know about yet, that are going to be so in alignment with you that, it's more than what you ever expected, And I just looked at the bottom of the deck, and yeah, we got New Life here. We got that card last time. They're wanting to help you step into your new life, and really, this new life is the life that was always aligned with you, and it's the place where your higher self is, really, because your higher self is just, the way that I see it, it's you from the future. And linear time, time works a little bit differently in regards to the higher self, but effectively, your higher self knows everything that you've had to go through to get to where you're at now, or to get to where your higher self is at now. So it's sending these signals to try to pull you towards embodying your higher self and being in your highest timeline. And in listening to its guidance, it sees the bigger picture, It sees the things that we don't see, and that's why sometimes the guidance can be so confusing, or it can be hard to trust it, because there is a much bigger picture, a much bigger plan happening, and it can seem uncertain at first, but really, to our human minds, uncertainty is necessary for change to happen. You can't get anything new if you're just in the familiar and focused on more of the same. So I'm getting that you should embrace that uncertainty, because you are guided and you are protected, and everything's going to be all right, But let me see if there's any other messages that want to come through. I'm getting that you should really give yourself a pat on the back, because regardless of if you've been doing this work for a while, or even if you've just gotten started and maybe you've had just some rough things happen to you, give yourself a pat on the back, because this stuff is literally transforming who you are as a person, and that stuff can be intense sometimes, and sometimes we don't recognize how far we've come. Sometimes we don't recognize just the amount of work that we've actually done. And I encourage you to, try thinking about maybe a way that you felt like a year ago, or a few years ago, or even 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and think about how different your state of mind is now compared to back then, and think about just how much more knowledge you have now, and how much you've grown in a lot of ways. And know that, really, you will always be moving in the direction of your growth. And sometimes, there's growing pains, but, they're there for a reason, and they are still there for your highest good. So just remember to trust in it. But I think that's going to do it for tonight. So thank you very much for being here, and I sincerely wish you a good day, evening, or night, and as always, stay light.